We're recording. We have a new beautiful setup. Oh man, they can't see what we're seeing right here.
Nope.
But we got the new update. New things are going on. It's going to just keep getting better, like I keep promising over and over, and hopefully I don't screw this one up. But so today is Podcast Tuesday, August 24th at 10:55. We're starting 5 minutes early.
Whoa.
11 o'clock is normally our podcast time, and we're early. So, anything else to be said? If not, we'll get this party started.
Right.
Our mission is to promote strategies and policies which ensure improved health for all citizens of Nowata County.
Good morning, Nowata. Yeah, I guess it's me.
We talked about it.
Good morning, Nowata County. So we are here today with Suzan Perkins. She has been a volunteer in the community,
forever.
As long as you've lived here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk to her today about the importance of volunteering. And you've probably recognized Suzan from some of the latest, the Beautification Committee Facebook posts. And she's out there helping and painting and cleaning up, whatever they need. So anyway, so we'll just get down to it. Now, Suzan, if people don't know this, Suzan is actually one of the founding members of our Nowata Can Coalition. So she was there from the get-go. So if you wanted to kind of talk about the evolution of Nowata Can from when you started to now,
Sure.
that would be awesome.
Well, I wasn't there at the very first, but I was there within 8 months, 9 months. I was friends with one of the staff, and they knew I had a degree in alcohol and drug counseling, and so they thought it'd be good to be on the board because that's the one grant we had at the time. And I can't remember what the legalese term was for.
There was the spiff sig.
Sig or
Yeah,
something.
it was acronyms. We talk about this all the time. Yeah.
All day long.
Yep.
So,
and
go ahead.
we were just doing working with youth and preventing alcohol and drug abuse.
Did that come from... I'm piecing together the history. I learn about it just little pieces at a time. Was it originally Nowata Can started with a Cherokee grant established? How did that work?
Yes. Let's see. Jim of the Living Word Church. Can't think of his last
Winslow.
name. Winslow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andrew Winslow was in my class.
And I can't remember the other guy's name. Found out about the Cherokee Nation having this grant, and that they were looking for communities in the nation to develop it through. And so they formed one. Mm-hmm. They formed a coalition, and then we got the grant, and from there it just kind of took off.
And we've kind of changed. I'd say we haven't really changed our focus as far as bettering the community, but our grants have been a little different every time. So
most of our grants deal with health, some health issue,
Community health.
Yeah, community health.
Yep.
Whether it's drug abuse, addiction, or mental health, or physical health, or nutrition health, it all deals with health.
Yep. Okay.
So whenever the cans were set up, I've kind of noticed whenever I get on a webinar or talk to other grantees, there's some other cans, I can't think of a town or a county that has a can, but there's other cans that are...
Holbert has
Yeah,
one.
Holbert.
can.
Yeah, Holbert. Yep.
So Nowata Can, if people didn't realize, Holbert Can is kind of the same thing we
Yes.
are, but then also some coalitions don't still use the CAN acronym, or...
Right.
They've changed, probably got other grants, etc. It stood for, let me think,
Community Advance.
Anti-Drug Network.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. And I think they've all kind of changed as they've changed their focus, but they're still especially the coalitions that are in the Cherokee Nation, within the 14 counties of the Cherokee Nation, we all started our CAN coalitions through that one grant.
Yes.
So we're all still here. We've just kind of morphed into other things. But
Well, the Cherokees did I think, a tremendous job in starting all these
I
small
agree.
organizations, because they've all just taken and run with it for the
Yeah.
communities. And I really appreciate that from the Cherokee Nation.
Yeah, for sure.
So part of the evolution, is it, a grant has cycles, and typically 5 years. Is that typical, or
Just depends on
it
the
just
Okay.
depends on the grant.
our T set is 5? But like you said, it depends on the grant, and so the kind of the built-in part of that is it gets to evolve as the community evolves. And so, were there any times where the community goes, "Oh, here's a new issue that has kind of arisen, so therefore we pursue this other grant that directly affects, the evolution of the community's health, whether it be negative or a grant does a really good job, and in this specific area they get way better." Well, then we don't need to apply for another grant because this area, say, nutrition has gotten so much better. So then after that grant cycle ends, then they go look for another grant. It's another hot subject that we tackle. Have you seen any of that? Any specific examples?
Well, really, society's problems stay the same.
Right.
But grants do help with the situation. And I've seen a growth, like we talked about this being a food desert.
Oh, right.
And so we thought, what can we do to improve the food access here? And we came up with, and the Cherokee gave us a grant for a community garden. And then we came up with the farmer's market. And
Which you saved my bacon 2 weeks ago. I so appreciate that. Like, I came in the next morning and we did really good. And if it wasn't for Susan, I would have been lost. Sorry.
it's okay, because I thought you did a tremendous job.
Oh, thank you.
Together, we did okay.
That's right. That's right. Well, so our coalition, it's not just like the people you see on screen right now. Who makes up our coalition? I mean, is it like just a few individuals, or who do we include in our membership?
Well, anyone can be a member of our coalition, but we have 12 sectors. And you're going to have to help me remember them all. But
Oh, golly.
one's like law enforcement, school, health,
Media.
Local business,
media, local business, parent,
nonprofit,
nonprofit,
Student.
student.
Or youth, I guess.
Are you keeping track out there?
And I think it's
Yeah.
like community volunteer or something
Yeah.
like that.
It's just
we
like
have 12 sectors.
That's right. Yep. So it's like just this all-encompassing. So it
Yeah.
hits all the different groups, if you will, in the community, and everybody has a different perspective on how to help their area of expertise, and so we're able to get together and
Keep hitting the wrong button.
come up with plans and ideas that can help our community.
Yeah, each of those sectors have a voice at the table, and they can determine what way Nowata Can goes. And I can't remember exactly what year it was, but we changed our name because we started getting other grants, not just anti-drug grants. But we changed it to Nowata Community Advancement Network, keeping the can in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that I learned something
Because
today.
I think that people recognize us as CAN,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that it just made more sense
Right.
to try and come up with something that would keep that there.
We were talking about sorry, this is a total tangent, but we were talking about T-shirts that had the Know What I Can logo on the back, and I was wanting to put something like "Together We Can" or "Together as a Community We Can," just to build off of the beautification's momentum and the love and support that they've got from the community. And I also bring that up to segue into the volunteerism
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
But I would love to see a T-shirt that says "Together We Can," puns and
Yeah.
acronyms and everything together. Plus, people see. Were you guys getting, for the beautification committee? Have you guys talked about getting T-shirts? I heard somebody was potentially getting T-shirts for you guys or something.
I think they mentioned it a while back, but since then,
It's like a cohesion, like the uniform type thing.
we're just so in. Well, if you see women and a guy around the town with clothes splattered with paint, that's our
It's their war
uniform.
paint.
Oh, that's who they are. That's right. That's right.
Because I have to tell this what happened to me. I was down painting the Rainbow Bridge, and I walked up my usual self and said, Well, I'm going to paint purple because purple's my favorite color.
I know this story.
And so it was a kind of a weird angle to be painting at. So I got my folding chair and set it on that thing. And it slid and closed up with me, and I fell. And at the end of the day, I had purple. I had it in my hair, on my clothes. It soaked through my clothes. So from now on, I'm not going to be so smart.
Mom, this wasn't, I mean, it wasn't funny. It's funny now, but didn't she like kind of step off a ladder weird or something and got paint all over her as well? You're part, you guys need a club. Who has spilt paint all over them?
Yep. It's bound to happen.
It's bound.
Well, so as far as volunteering goes, so
we are right about our 11-minute mark.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wasn't keeping track. I'm glad Marcus was.
I checked over here.
Yeah,
11 minutes.
So with volunteering, you've always been a volunteer in this community with different organizations, not just Nowata Can. And I mean, you during our coalition meetings have always impressed upon us the importance of volunteering in your community and finding what your thing is and helping the community. So what is the importance or the value of volunteers in a community? So what value does that have on the community? And then what value does that have for the volunteers personally?
Well, it's actually a two-way street. Not only does the community, I'll get talking here in a minute, the community benefit from people volunteering and improving the community, no matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're a 4-H leader or a beautification committee member or if you're on the Nowata Can board, whatever it is, you're making the community much better every day. And there's a whole bunch that the volunteer gets.
Right.
And I even brought a list.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, one, it's good for you because it improves your physical health and your mental health. It makes you feel less stressful and more calm because you're reaching out and you're giving to another person and not expecting anything back.
That sound familiar to the churchgoers out there, that giving out is, it's
You're
better to give than
interacting
to
with
receive. That's kind of the
people.
generic
Yeah.
version of
You're,
it.
you're getting out there and interacting with the people in your community.
And it saves resources. And a perfect example of that is that the beautification committee just started with nothing, no money, no paint, and we have a bit of money today, not a whole lot, and people give us money every day.
Isn't that
almost.
amazing how something so pure and with the best intentions, it just feeds itself?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
There was a lot of questions early on talking to Mom, and I think we had this conversation too. And she's like, well, how are we going to fund this and this? And I'm like, Mom, you guys are doing such an amazing job. People are buying into it. If you're not asking for $1 million, you might even be able to ask for $1 million at this point. But if you were to ask, for a couple $100 to do this huge, amazing thing, it's going to happen. So don't stress about the finances right now. Just do the little easy things. And it's amazing how much people that maybe they're not capable of going out and physically doing it, but their heart's with you guys. And they're like, man, it's easy for me to write a check. I work my tail off. I don't have time to come out there. I got kids and I got to do all this stuff, but I can give back to it. And it's just amazing how it just feeds itself. It's awesome.
The volunteers gain professional experience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, you think, would I like to be that, profession? And then you volunteer where you think you might like it, and you find out. Plus, it goes on your resume.
Yeah, it's kind of like an internship, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It brings people together, as you just said.
Connection.
And
Community.
we connect a lot with people. It promotes personal growth and self-esteem.
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
It's kind of my guilty reason I've started volunteering when I was 5.
Right?
It feeds your soul.
It did.
Yeah,
does.
there you go. Yeah.
I was 5, and it was a different day and age, 1960, and you could just go in your whole neighborhood and it'd be perfectly safe. Well, I had a couple of older ladies and a gentleman that I would and I think they found things for me to do now that I look back. But I'd like go and take the trash out to the alley and put it in the can. Or we had 2 small mom and pops grocery stores within 2 or 3 blocks. And they would give me a little bitty grocery list and I'd go pick it up. And I didn't have to have any money at that time because they kept credit on the store. And so, but then I always got like lemonade and cookies, and I got the whole dolls and
Bonus.
That's the translation for today is I've seen beautification committee people. I've seen other people see them out at restaurant and go, "Hey, we're picking up a check."
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah.
That's right.
Literally feeds the soul and literally feeds your belly. Sometimes.
A gentleman at Homeland last weekend saw me, and across the store he was yelling, not mad, but he was yelling and saying, "How awesome you are! You ladies are doing a great big job!" And everybody was stopping listening, and I thought, "Oh, yeah."
There's
Yeah,
that
you gotta
self-esteem
own that.
thing.
Yeah, you gotta own that. That's for sure.
Well, another thing is it strengthens your community.
Absolutely.
In multiple ways. They're too numerous to really list. It does.
I think it's a good way for people to get to know each other, because we talk about how disconnected our communities are, how neighbors don't know neighbors, and this is a great way to get to know the people around
For
you.
sure.
Yeah. Yep.
And you learn a lot. I learn every day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think I know so much about something that I
think
couldn't
we're all guilty
possibly
of that.
know so another thing, but then I do.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Can stood for something else earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
And actually, that involves the government, the local government. You learn as a volunteer what they do and what they can improve, and that type of thing. So you develop relationships with the government, the local governments, which helps.
Sure. An educated population is a wiser population,
I
more
agree.
efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. You give a chance to give back. I know that I have been given stuff in my lifetime that I want to give back for, because I'm I'm in another place now, and I can do all those things, and it helps you pay back, or pay it back. That's an old thing. Also, and one of the most important is it creates civil responsibility.
Ooh.
Right.
That's a good term.
Yeah.
I like that.
Write that one down. You got a pen? Civil responsibility.
Actually, I do.
Man, that's accountability. We talk about accountability all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a member of a community. You are responsible for your little world.
That's right.
And how it affects other people.
Absolutely.
And you make a difference. That, in the end, that's what it does. Every person counts, no matter what. Just like I'm sure that lady didn't need her trash hauled out to the thing, but I served a purpose.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, we're supposed to
It
take
changes
care of each
attitudes.
other.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
what it is, ultimately.
I think if say you live in town, for example, and you step out the door and somebody has done something nice for you, you're more apt to do something nice going forward for the rest of your day.
Going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I have to end this with this part of it with a little quote that's my favorite quote of all time. I quote it a lot. It's by Margaret Mead, and she says, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has."
Perfect.
That fits perfectly.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah. As I don't know if you can do that as a mission statement, but I know that you guys are becoming a nonprofit organization, and
Yes.
that changes some dynamics and makes other things available. Do you guys have a mission statement? Could you adopt that as it? Because that's a great mission statement to. Well, I don't know. Is that a mission statement, or is that kind of like a
It's just an
creed or something?
inspirational.
It's just it can be
be a
involved
mantra.
in a mission,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mission statement.
Yeah.
So,
That's lovely.
as with everything happening around our situation these days.
Yep.
The 501c3, they're behind on getting them approved, but
Oh, okay.
but they will get to it. It's the government.
The word that shall not be spoken.
Yes.
We are at our 20-minute mark. So, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Maybe that it just, or if you got a ton more stuff, we could do a part 2, or you could come back at another time.
Oh, I don't care. I was going to talk about some of the things I'd done volunteering, but whatever. And I had some tips on getting starting to volunteer. But we can do whatever.
If you know what, let's go ahead and cut because we're going to be over our 20-minute mark, and that's going to be where I can't upload it to certain things. So for now, this is going to be our first ever part 2.
No way.
This is part 1. Tune in next time, which will be a video here in just a minute. But for you, it'll be another video.
Awesome.
So with that, we will cut. Susan, hang with us, and we'll come back after this commercial break, brought to you by some, I don't know. Some local business, because we like local business. Anyways, all right. Love you guys. We'll be back in a minute for part 2.